Contour SCT. There's a couple of drums that I've gotten. I kind of want to try this guy out, which is a little bit of a more abrasive. But let me show you in my 66 Mustang what we're trying to clean up here. So we have quite a bit of old combination of rust slash undercoating slash dirt. So we're trying to get this all as clean as possible. That area there, we're gonna have to weld some stuff in there. So as you can tell, it's super crusty and a little bit rusty as well. So let's see how this works. I'm gonna take it for a little spin and see if it cleans some of this area up. I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to change the drums on these things. So there's a little arrow that tells us which way it's spinning, right? So it's gonna be spinning this way. So when we're putting our sanding disc on there, we wanna make sure that it's matching that spin. So as you can tell, this one has the arrow that's spinning this way. And it's super simple, almost looks like a little crankshaft with two keyways. So we're gonna match those two keyways to the holes here into the actual drum itself. So let's go ahead and throw it on there and then we'll try it. All right guys, let's take a look at some of this progress here. So this panel here, I don't know what this is underneath it. It was underneath the underlayer or undercoating that was on there. So some of that undercoating stuff didn't really come off with the SCT. I had to use a couple chisels, a hammer, and then just kind of smoothly and evenly take some of it out. As you guys can tell, once I did that, the SCT did take most of that material off. There's some hard to reach areas, obviously. Let's take a look at this side here. So this side, we discovered some of the original white paint underneath all that dirt and undercoating. So that's the original white, Wimbledon white. We have some bare metal here, so we'll be protecting that. You can tell some of it here, it's fairly clean metal. There is some rust spots on this area here, so we'll be addressing those as well. We have a panel there that we can replace that with. If we look at the frame rail though, so we have some of that undercoating on this side here. We have some of the original white paint, and then we've cleaned. So this is some of the clean metal that we just use the SCT for. So just a quick test pass. I'm gonna get back to it, make sure that it gets all cleaned up, and then we'll treat that metal to make sure it doesn't rust. We're in the Southwest, so it doesn't really have a whole lot of humidity in the air here. Should be pretty easy to protect. So we'll be working this area a little bit more. As you guys can tell, it's a little bit more rusty from water. There's a reservoir that used to sit on the other side of this, so I'm guessing it was leaking. So we'll make sure that we get that protected as well. All right guys, let's continue working. All right guys, one more update. So I was able to get quite a bit of the surface cleaned up. There's a tiny bit there. As you can tell, it doesn't quite grab everything. But this car is really gonna be something that I just beat up on once in a while. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure I protect that metal. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna just put a light coat of Eastwood's rust encapsulator. And really the main purpose of it is we're actually gonna have to like take some of it off eventually to weld and do some other stuff, but I just want to protect that metal for now. So as you guys can tell, it cleaned up pretty good even in that little edge. So once again, that's the Eastwood Contour SCT. You do have to be kind of creative as to how you line it up and to get into all these little crevices and stuff like that. But just take your time, be patient with it. It works pretty well. All right guys, let's take a look here. So as you guys can tell, it came out pretty good. Very light dusting of the Eastwood rust encapsulator, basically just to protect the material while we do the rest of the welding and stuff like that. Just barely enough to cover the metal. Once again, it's temporary. We'll have to clean the rest of this, and then the actual undercoating will go on. So like the stuff, it dried pretty quickly. It's like 65 degrees right now, so it worked out pretty well. This panel might need to be replaced. As you guys can tell, all that popcorn looking stuff is from a wreck that they try to straighten it. So we might cut some of that out and replace it. We'll have to see, but overall, pretty happy with the Eastwood products that I used today. Obviously not an advertising for them at all. Just fairly cheap, and I like the way they work. So if you guys need them, try them out.